Billie Lee from Vanderpump Rules promoting a campaign. You guys can purchase Billie Lee hair damage bundle at, is it Regenix.com?
Regenix, yes.
Regenix. Hi, Billie Lee. How are you?
Hi, you're so pretty.
You are. I was just going to say that you're so pretty.
I don't even have a hotel right now. I literally barely have any makeup on. I was like, oh, let's just do this.
Well, you're gorgeous, so it doesn't matter. Watching you on the show, too, I'm like, God, she's so pretty. You're so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
So a portion of the proceeds will go directly to EQCA, correct?
Yeah, Equality California. I'm on the board, and they are constantly working to protect trans people and all of LGBT people, actually.
Good for you and good for them. You're also hosting a party with Pride tomorrow at Public House at New York City. Tickets can go. You guys can get tickets at publichousenewyork.com.
Yes.
So much to talk about. So much. But I first want to know, how has Pride Month been going for you?
It's been amazing. It's like crazy busy, super exciting, and I'm just overwhelmed with this feeling of love to be with my community. But I feel like every time we're really excited and we're all in love, then at the same time we're really sad because another Black trans woman is being murdered. So it's that roller coaster of we are loving and we're moving forward and we're finally accomplishing something, but at the same time another one of our sisters is being murdered. So it's crazy.
Right. It's like the yin and yang of life.
Yeah.
And how, you came from Indiana, correct?
Yes. Very small town.
How do you go from Indiana and get all the way to Hollywood?
Well, I went to school for journalism, radio, TV, and film, and the ultimate goal since I was 5, I think, was to have my own talk show. I just always wanted to have a platform to share other people's stories, and I went the reporter route, and you have to start in a small market as a reporter, and when I finally finished my internship, and I was really excited to get the job, they're like, "Sweetie, you're just too feminine for a small market. Our viewers just won't like you." So I was like, oh, what am I going to do with my life? So I moved to Los Angeles and kind of started over there.
And how long you been in LA?
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
What has the dating experience been like for you?
Well, I think in LA it's so hard in general. Even my sisters are like, "Oh, this is horrifying."
It is.
Yeah.
I had to move. That's why it was so bad.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I'm like, if I want to find love, I'm just gonna move back to the Midwest or something.
That's what I did. I'm like, I'm not gonna find someone that's But now people can Google you.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I've definitely been on dates where people have Googled me and then they left because they found out who I was. And, when you Google me, all these nasty things show up and me screaming and yelling on Bravo TV. So it's not really cute. I've
been there too. They're like, whoa, I don't know if I want all this. How did you first start working at SIR?
A friend of a friend got me a job through Lisa, and then I met with Lisa, and we just fell in love, and she loved the fact that I was an activist, and obviously she's an activist for the LGBTQ community, and also for dogs, and and I've been in restaurants my whole life. I owned a restaurant for 2 years, so it just kind of made sense. Yeah,
it was a perfect fit. Have you talked to her lately? How's she doing?
Yeah, I haven't. I reached out a little bit because I know her mom just passed away. But I feel like she was doing really, better since she wasn't going back to Real Housewives. But then, her mom passing, that's really sad. But I feel like she just needs time to heal.
She does.
Poor girl. It's been one thing after another.
It really has. It's been a rough year for her. Yeah. How do you feel about the way things ended on Real Housewives?
It's unfortunate. At the end of the day, I kind of agree with everyone. She should have, it would be nice to see her at the reunion to hash everything out.
Right.
But at the same time, she has so much going on. She has her thing, and I have to respect that. I think everyone has to kind of give her that space. And I'm happy that she finally has time to mourn her brother, now her mother, and just heal. Yeah.
Heal's the right word. Yeah. Have you been to Tom Tom yet? I have not gone.
Girl, especially when they first opened, I was there every night.
No, it turned into the hottest club.
Yeah, no, there's always a line out the door. I've been wasted so many times there. I've thrown up in the bathroom a few times because I partied with Lisa, with Lady Gaga there. It's been crazy. Yeah.
And who do you think else deserves their own bar? Who else could have a spinoff, so to speak, in the club world?
I don't know. I guess Jax could have a bar, but it'd be really moody and scary.
But the girls love him, right?
Yeah. I think there's always that bad boy sexy, thing. But Yeah,
he would be good. Do you take I mean, you do take a lot of heat, I think, right, for sticking up for him?
I did, yeah. The first season I joined, I took he was in the doghouse, and I feel like when anyone's in the doghouse, just like, James, I kind of like want to help them and inspire them to do better. So everyone was like, stay away from Jax. He's awful. He's horrible. And I was like, just trying to be his friend and just like, inspire him in some way. But then it kind of backfired because when people were like not so nice to me last summer, he was like, I don't want Billie around. I'm like, okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be so hard entering this group because, I mean, just watching new people come on in general, it's like, ooh, there's such a clique to try to fit into.
Yeah, it really is. And it's weird because there's a few of us that actually work at SIR and we're like, always hanging out together. And then there's people that don't work at SIR anymore who are really close. And so it's kind of like, at the end of the day, I'm not there to be their best friend or try to get into this like small group of friends. Like I'm there to get paid and be an activist and be visible as a trans woman, period.
Right. And are you going to Jax and Brittany's wedding? I think it's this weekend.
No, I'm here for World Pride. There's so many amazing things happening for World Pride. And I for sure do not want to go to that wedding.
No.
No, I'm not at all. Like a while back, I was kind of like hurt about it. Like, I really want to go or I really want to be involved because I really supported them being together when everyone was like, no, they need to break up. They need to be done. But not anymore. No, like Did you take it personally when they didn't invite you, or at the beginning? Yeah, I mean, and you saw that last season. I did take it like I was a little offended just because I really did support them and love them, and it was unfortunate because I wasn't friends with some of their friends and I was close with James, so I get why they didn't want to include me because they didn't want any drama. But at the end of the day, we all know there's always going to be drama. I mean, Sheena was like crying and something happened with Sheena, and it's like, but she was invited, so it was bullshit.
It is. And did you get invited to Brittany's bachelorette party?
No.
See, that would just annoy me.
Yeah.
It's still hurtful, but I get it. You know what I mean? But I'd still be like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Who from the cast are you actually on good terms with?
Tom and Ariana, I'm so close to them. I love them. They're like the best people. Tom is like one of my favorite humans on planet Earth. And then Sheena, James and Raquel, we're really close. We live right by each other. Yeah, those are my people. And those are the people that I feel like are always at SIR anyway, It's
right.
like, and I was constantly working at SIR, so, and I just was there. Yeah.
Oh my God, I loved it there. When it first opened, I was like, this place is awesome. Yeah,
I heard it was a spot when it first opened. Like
it was
Madonna
such
would go,
a spot. It was so cool. And then it just, got to be what it is, like a tourist kind of spot. But do you still host Brunch with Billie?
Yeah, I hosted one last week. But honestly, as an activist, and I have other amazing projects going on, and Lisa's helping me with those projects, it's just like my schedule is like very overwhelming. So I can't really be at the restaurant as much anymore. And I'm filming way less just because I have amazing things happening, so I'm really grateful, but at the same time I don't want to like stick around and try to be someone's best friend who I really don't even like. So.
No, exactly. And I know that you've had major fights with Lala this season, but you guys are good now?
Yeah, we're good. Like, I mean, we like after the reunion we reached out and text, and like, she was sober and I was going through some things. I haven't been drinking or smoking weed anymore, and I just like during that time filming last year, I was really depressed. It was like one trigger after another. I felt like I was back in high school, and there was days I didn't want to get out of bed, and I started having suicidal thoughts again. And it was like comforting that I knew she was working on her thing too and going through stuff, so we would text. And I don't like when people just like are mad at me for some reason, and her and I were really cool at one point, so it was nice to rekindle that friendship and like be there for each other.
I gotta say, the one good thing about these shows is and you kind of mentioned it before, I wish Lisa would have gone back to defend herself or mend things, that when you guys do get back together after an explosion, it shows that it's possible to us, the viewer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That you can make amends.
Yeah.
Now, watching the show, what have you learned about yourself? Because I know that's a big, lesson for anyone that's on TV. You watch yourself and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, I'm very emotional. I'm like dramatic for sure, and I'm very emotional, and I'm a Pisces, so I'm always crying, and you know, triggers a real thing. Like something happens. Like I've done so many spiritual things. I've done ayahuasca ceremonies. I've read every spiritual book you can think of, and I'm like, yeah, I'm healed from my childhood. I'm all good. And then something happens, and all of a sudden you're like hysterical, and you feel like a child again, and yeah, I was like, honestly, just telling myself, calm down, girlfriend. Like, just calm down.
Calm down. I got to open one of those books again.
Yeah.
What was your favorite argument? It doesn't have to be with you, but on the watching the show, like going, oh my God, let me get my popcorn out.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I never watched the show, but I watched back. Like, I saw a clip. It was like 10 worst fights of Vanderpump, and I was one of them. So it popped up on my like feed, and I saw Tom hit Jax, like punch him in one of the seasons before. It was like a few seasons back. And I was like, whoa. And I guess it like really broke his nose and he was like gushing with blood. But I was kind of excited because Jax can be such an asshole. And so I was like, that's cool. Not that I'm promoting violence or anything.
Right. No, I totally get it. I'm talking to Billie Lee from Vanderpump Rules. She's got her new hair damage bundle at regenix.com/Billie Lee, and also hosting a party with Pride tomorrow at Public House in New York City. You guys can get tickets at publichouseny.com. When you go to those reunions, do you feel like you have to, because I talked to the housewives before, do you feel like you have to like get it up and like, okay, I'm going to get ready to fight?
Yeah. You get so nervous, like you're just like, and the questions just smack you across the face too. So like,
right?
I feel like you can never prepare for.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can't. It's so hard.
And the hardest questions come from the viewers. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, oh. It was, and then also just to watch back, I was really disappointed in the reunion because like I was kept on being talked over, and I felt like I was being forced to agree with someone, and I don't know, I felt very ambushed, and it was really fast, and I'm like, give the girl like 5 minutes to like explain. Like all season, like I feel like I was being beat up for my own experience, my trans experience, and then I try to explain myself, and it's like I can't even talk. So it was just awful for me.
It's got to be really, really hard. I mean, I had Stassi in here and I'd asked about you, and she's like, well, she's just not part of our girl group.
Yeah.
I mean, are you attempting to try to, or?
No, not at this point. Like I truly love my life, and I love my trans community, and like that's priority. I recently started dating a trans guy, and like we want to adopt children, and like I don't know, I just have amazing things happening, and I don't want to be around any negative energy, and I'm not trying to be like force myself into a group of girls that love to drink and be mean to people. Like that's just not my cup of tea. So at the end of the day, I'm like on my own lane, and I'm really happy with that. But I think it's unfortunate, you know, like at the end of the day, I think you really need to work on inclusion and have more diversity within your group of friends. And I think they had a really cool moment to shed light on a trans experience and accepting her and loving her. And I felt like that, you know, they just were like, no, you need to prove something to us. And I've proved so much in my life, and I'm just not about to like prove some more shit for, like with 3 white cis women. It's just not my thing.
You're like, I don't have time for that.
No, like I don't. Seriously.
There is a lot of cross-contamination on the show with the cast in terms of sleeping with each other and kissing each other. I mean, has there been any that you wanted to make out with or anything?
No, I mean, I've like, no, it's so weird. I've had like, there's been rumors that I've like slept with certain people, and I'm like, no, that's not true. Like, I am so, like, you know, if you're with someone or you're in love with someone, like I'm not like a home wrecking type of person. So, right. And everyone is like a couple there. So there was really no option. When a new guy starts SIR though, we definitely all kind of jump on him. And Sheena usually gets her claws in first before anyone. For real though.
That's amazing.
Like, she doesn't even give us a second. She's already jumped over the bar and she's in it. She's gonna hate me for that.
So funny. Now all the other Vanderpump casts are buying houses. When is your house coming?
First of all, I haven't been on the show for 8 seasons. I just started. So I have an amazing, beautiful apartment. It's right by Alfred's Coffee off of Melrose Place Avenue. It's like a dream come true for me.
So it took them 8 years. So
yeah, it's gonna take me. It's gonna take me longer. And with my new projects coming up, it's a lot of money involved. So I'm really excited about that. And honestly, my priority is having a baby. So even if I have a 2-bedroom apartment and I can afford to adopt a baby, that's first.
I love that. Now, when you started the show, I remember Lisa Vanderpump told you not to get close to Kristen. Was she right about that?
Totally. I mean, her and I did actually bond. It was really cool. She was really open, and she's like, I love quotes too, because there's a lot of quotes on my Instagram, and I'm always trying to inspire people. But you know, whenever I was friends with James, she just gets on this thing where like she was campaigning against James over and over. Like everywhere we went, she was screaming and yelling, and you'd look in the corner and her energy, she's just like attacking every person in front of her. And it reminded me of my family. I was like, oh, this girl needs something. And I told her, I'm like, you need healing. Like, you obviously are dealing with something with James. I'm like, instead of projecting on everyone else, why don't you go see a therapist or something? And she hated that I told her that. So then I was like her enemy. And, you know, if Kristen doesn't like someone, she literally campaigns to like not have them around, not have them invited. And I think that was a really big thing. And when we first started the new season, season 7, I was a little upset with her because when we were filming, she was so cool with me and wanting to hang out nonstop because I was the new girl and the cameras were around. But when the cameras shut down, she didn't answer my texts. We were neighbors. She wouldn't have me over. And then when the cameras came back up for the next season, she was like, hey girl, where you been? I missed you. Like, I want to hang out. I'm like, oh, hell no, you are fake as hell. Like,
I was going to say, sounds fake.
I can't deal with fake people like that. It's like, just be real. Like,
no.
Yeah.
That's what's hard about LA. I mean,
yeah.
It's really hard to find an authentic, non-vapid person in that city to become friends with, you know?
Yeah.
True friends.
I know. I mean, I've been 13 years. It has taken me a long time. And now I have like an amazing group of friends. I have like a family. I have sisters. I have community. Yeah, it's taken
Who's
a
your
while.
best ally on the show, would you say?
Ariana and Tom. Like, Ariana just gets it. Like, she's like one of those girls who's like, wait a second, everyone just calm down. Let's listen to the minority. Let's just listen to her. And that's the first step, I think, of anything. And being a powerful ally is just listening. And then she's like, you know, I put my foot in your shoes sometimes. And I think about like what it would be like to be a trans woman in America. And I do that when I meditate. I always try to like think, what is it like to be a black man in America? Or a lot of my best friends and very close sisters are trans women of color. So when I see trans women of color being murdered all the time, like, it affects me deeply because my closest, dearest friends are trans women of color. So I just love how she really like puts herself there. And I think more people in America need to do that.
100%. Is there anything that you wish that you did differently this season? My last question. So what do you think, if there's anything looking back, you're like, oh, I wish I would have blank?
Well, I think at the end of the day, not everything is about me and not everything is about my trigger and my childhood wounds, you know? So I definitely would be a little bit more still and calm, and I definitely would stick to my meditation practice more when I'm filming. But it's so hard because when you're filming, you film every single day, and it's like, oh, there's a party this day, and we're going to another party the next day, and you're drinking. So It's like you're hungover, and then you're drunk again, and at the end of the day, you're just pissed off. And I think
and the pressure of having to bring it probably a little bit too, because if you're, you know, a namaste on this show, it's going to be a little tricky.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like if I'm namaste all day long, people are like, you're boring. If I'm like screaming and yelling, people are like, she's crazy, the crazy trans woman, get her off the show. It's like, you can't win.
You can't. You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't.
Exactly.
But Billie Lee, I think you're doing an amazing job. Thanks for all that you're doing, too, for the trans community. You guys can purchase Billie Lee Hair Damage Bundle at Regenix.com/Billie Lee. Also hosting her party tomorrow at Pride Public House in New York City. Get tickets at publichouseny.com. Thank you so much, and good luck to you.
Thank you, beautiful.
Come back anytime, gorgeous.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Jenny McCarthy Show. Oh!